Hello everyone, I Professor Bhavik Kumar M. Kataria welcomes you into the video series of Information and Network Security. So we are discussing unit number 6. Topics of this units are message authentication codes, message authentication code requirements, message authentication code security, message authentication codes based on hash functions, and the last one, message authentication codes based on block ciphers. So we will discuss these units during this session, but till today we have discussed 2 sessions on information and network security. First session was hash function and second section was cryptographic hash function. So if we will look about the first session of hash function, so let's see what we have discussed in first session. We have started with the need of hash function. So first, why hash function was required? So due to the problem in symbol table to store the data, we have invented the hash table and hash function. So what was the problem at there? So whenever we are inserting, deleting, searching or updating the data, so there is one key value is required, look like primary key in database, get it? So at that time we can use the array, get it, to store the symbol table data. So whatever the problems we were faced during the symbol table, so to overcome this table, there was a hash table. In this hash table, we are using the hash function, and due to the result or outcomes of hash functions, we are getting the unique position to store the key values. It means whatever the key values we want to store inside this table, so we will apply hash function on that particular key value, and out of the result of this hash functions we will get a specific location to store that particular key value. Now during this hash table we have faced one problem, that was about the collision. Like whenever we are applying the hash function on any value, so suppose we are getting the same location for 2 or more than 2 values, so it means we are not able to store more than one value at a single place or a single location. That thing was known as a collision. So if we will look about the various hash functions, so at that time we have discussed division method, multiplication method, mid square method and folding method. We have also discussed load factor alpha, that is requires to keep less than 1 for the good hash function. If we will look about the collision, so for the collision we have discussed collision resolution techniques. There was main 2 approach. First one was open addressing and second one was a chaining. In terms of open addressing, we have discussed linear probing, quadratic probing and double hashing. And our second session of information and network security, we have discussed cryptographic hash function. So same, we have started with the need of cryptographic hash function. So if we will look about the need of cryptographic hash function, so what is the need? Whenever any sender is sending the data towards the receiver, it means sender is transmitting message into the communication channel. So there is a possibility every time message should with the variable length. So every times message requires with the different length. So to overcome this limitation, we have invented cryptographic hash functions. By using cryptographic hash function, we are getting the hash digest and it is reducing the size of message. So whatever the size of message is there, we are converting into the fixed size of length into the L bits. That is the outcome of hash function, cryptographic hash function. We have used cryptographic hash function for the message authentication. At that time we have discussed total 4 cases for the message authentication. Then after we have discussed properties of hash function for the cryptographic. One more thing we have discussed, that is crypt analysis. What we have did into the crypt analysis. So if there is a very long size message, so we are dividing entire message into the smaller number of units or a smaller number of pieces, and then after we are applying a cryptographic hash function on each smaller parts or each piece, and then after we are adding one fixed size input as well as one smaller unit, and whatever the outcomes we are getting from the cryptographic hash function, again we are combining it with the input of second unit or second piece, and same thing last we are getting hash digest. So that is about the crypt analysis. Then after we have discussed secure hash algorithm, that is known as a SHA. Mostly people are calling it as a SHA or SHA. Somewhere people are calling SHA algorithm or somewhere people are calling SHA algorithm, but SHA stands for the secure hash algorithm. So let's see what is the need of SHA. So generally people are using MD4 and MD5 algorithm, which is used in market. So in place of MD4 and MD5, NIST, National Institute of Standard and Technology, suggested one new technique, that is SHA algorithm. So what is the difference as compared to MD4 and MD5? So if we will look about the MD5, so we are getting 128-bit output from the MD5 algorithm, whereas whenever we are using SHA algorithm, SHA-1, so in terms of SHA-1 algorithm we are getting 160-bit output. So it is greater as compared to previous one, and it is getting a more accuracy also even. We have used the initialization buffer to replace the MD4 and MD5. At that time we have used the 32-bit registers. So that was everything about the cryptographic hash function. But today we are going to discuss our lecture number 3, that is message authentication code. So in terms of message authentication code, first we will start with the need of message authentication code. So let's see what is the need of it, or what is the requirement of message authentication code. As per our earlier discussion, there is a two parties, one is sender party and second one is receiver party. So here Dhruvi as a sender party and Bhavik as a receiver party. So let's see how MEC is useful in this communication between Dhruvi to Bhavik. So suppose Dhruvi is sending one message to Bhavik. So Dhruvi will become a sender and Bhavik will become a receiver. So whenever Bhavik will receive the message, so how Bhavik will able to know that this message was sent by the Dhruvi? Actually there was a sender address is available in message, but there is no authenticity, like due to the sender address. How can we imagine like that is original sender or accurate sender? Because maybe there is a possibility from the channel, possibilities of integrity or any type of hacking or any type of malicious users modification. So Bhavik has no authentication that message was sent by the Dhruvi, or there is an accurate message was sent by the Dhruvi. So Bhavik will use the message authentication code to check the authenticity. So why we are using? So first thing, that is we are verifying the integrity of a message. It means message is original message or message is containing any type of additional integrity. So we are able to check this type of integrity by using message authentication code. So which type of integrity can be happen? So first thing, that is content modification, like whatever the Dhruvi is sending, so in between third party can interact the message, and by extracting the channel, third party can add their additional message. It means third party can add their own message inside the original message. Other thing, they can modify the content, that is content modification. They can modify the sequence also. What is the sequence modification? Let's see, we have discussed during the computer network packet switching. So in terms of packet switching, we discussed that whenever packets are traveling from source to destination, so all these packets are following different routes. But whenever receiver is receiving the message, so receiver is arranging this number of packets into the actual sequence. Then and then receiver will be able to extract the original message. So what happens here? Suppose Dhruv is sending a message into the 5 different packets, P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. Like third party integrity, some malicious user can hack the channel, and suppose that hacker is going to modify the sequence of packets. A hacker will do like P3, P2, P4, P5 and P1. So whenever Bhavik will receive the packets in out of order. So that is a modified sequence of message. So Bhavik will not be able to interpret the original message. Like whenever you are writing a paragraph into the Word file. So suppose by making some modifications, suppose we are change the sequence of all number of lines. Suppose there is a 10 line paragraphs and we are modifying the sequence of all lines. So whenever any other user will read that entire paragraph of 10 lines, so that user will not be able to extract the original message, or if the user will able to extract the original message, so maybe user can get the wrong interpretation. Another thing look like timing modification. So what is timing modification is there? Suppose whenever we are receiving any type of message in our mobile or any type of mails, so we are looking on which time sender was sent a mail to us or sender was sent a message to us. Like in yesterday Dhruvi have sent one message to Bhavik. Like whatever the third party malicious user or hacker is there, suppose they are changing the timing and they can change the timing of 1 week before. So what Bhavik will think that is not a emergency message that was sent before the 1 week. So right now there is no more importance. So this type of timing modification can be occur by the hacker side. Source reputation and destination reputation. So what is it? Like a third party also becomes source or a destination. Like in place of Dhruvi, third party is sending a message, so Bhavik will able to know that that message is sent by the Dhruvi, but actually message was sent by the third party. So third party can become source or a sender. Same thing, third party can become destination or receiver. Like whenever Dhruvi is receiving the acknowledge message from Bhavik, like Bhavik will send a SEK like I got the message. So in place of Bhavik, third party will receive the message and third party will send the SEK I got the message. So Dhruvi will be able to know that Bhavik already got the message, but actually message got by the third party. Get it? So Musker, it is one type of hacker. So this type of modification or integrity can be occur into the message. So to identify this type of activity, we will use the message authentication code. Let's see what we are doing with the message authentication code. So there are 3 properties of message authentication code. First one is make secret key, second one is message encryption, and third one is hash function. In terms of secret key, sender will use one secret key whenever sender will apply the secret key on message, and then after sender will send the message towards the receiver, and sender will share this secret key with the receiver. So receiver can apply this secret key on message and receiver can extract the original message. Same thing, another possibility of encryption. Sender can encrypt the message while sending. Same thing, receiver can decrypt the message. Another thing, use of hash function. Sender can apply hash function on actual message, and after applying the hash function, sender will send the message. Same thing, sender will share this hash function to the receiver. So whenever receiver will receive the message, so receiver will apply the hash function on message and extract the original message. So these 3 things will work for the authenticator. So let's see one by one how it is happening. First, for the make function, we are using case number 1. What we are doing is in case number 1, so that is the actual message. You have to see in the blue lines located here. So that is actual message. We are getting one actual message, as well as we are appending actual message with the secret key. It means on message sender is applying secret key, and then after applying the secret key, sender will append the original message and applied key secret key message. and then after sender will send message towards the channel. So whenever message is traveling into the channel, so what is there? One original message plus a applied secret key message. So whenever receiver will receive the message, so Bhavik will receive the original message and apply the secret key on that message and compare with the secret key message. So if both this thing is same, so Bhavik will able to know that that message is authenticated and sent by the Dhruvi. There is no intermediate integrity added, or there is no intermediary modification is there. So Bhavik can get the authentication of Dhruvi's message. This thing is known as a message authentication. Get it? So in case number 1, sender and receiver getting the message authentication. Now for the second case, we are making some little bit modification. After applying the secret key and appending the secret key applied message and original message, sender is doing the encryption here. So what is the thing here? One original message appended with the secret key message, plus there is a one encrypted secret key and original message. So it is E of K2M appended with the C of K1M. C of K1M means that is a secret key applied on message M, as well as it is appended with the original message, and out of this by making this collections, we are applying encryption on this entire portion. Same thing, whenever receiver will receive the message, so receiver will make the decryption on this thing and compare it with the secret key. So whatever the secret key will come, whatever the decryption key receiver will use, so by applying the receiver side decryption key, receiver will compare it with the original message, and suppose receiver will get both this thing same, so receiver will be able to know that that message is authenticated from the source side. So that is for the plain text. Another case we will use for the ciphertext. So in place of ciphertext, whatever the second case you are getting into the green fonts, here we are discussing case number 3 with the orange font. So what Dhruvi is going to modify here, in place of making encryption at last, Dhruvi is making encryption earlier stage on original message. So first Dhruvi is making the encryption on original message, then she will applying the secret key. So sequence of encryption is going to be changed here. So this case is known as a authentication tied to ciphertext. Same thing, whenever Bhavik will receive the message, so Bhavik will decrypt the entire message and compare with the original message or a secret key. Suppose Bhavik is getting the same result, so again in third case it is Bhavik will get the authentication about the message. So there are 3 cases for the message authentication by the MAC function. Next technique we will discuss, that is message encryption. So what's happen in case of message encryption? There we will discuss 4 cases for the message encryption. Again here there is a Dhruvi is sender and Bhavik is receiver. So what is happening in case 1, we are using symmetric key encryption. For the remaining case we will do public key encryption. So in terms of symmetric key encryptions, Dhruvi will use the block cipher or a stream cipher. So Dhruvi will make the produce the key on message, and Dhruvi will make the encryption. So whatever the message is traveling inside the channel, so that is original message plus encrypted message. It will we are indicating it with the Y. So Y is a authenticator. So this thing is providing the authenticity. Whenever Bhavik will receive the message, so Bhavik will first make a decryption by produce key from the Dhruvi, and again it will Bhavik will compare original message with the decrypted message. Suppose the result is same, so Bhavik will be able to know that that is message was sent by the Dhruvi. So in that case Bhavik will get 2 things, confidentiality and authentication. In some other cases with the public key encryption, there is a case number 2. So in case number 2, we will make one modification. In place of symmetric key, we will use the public key. It means right now there is a key was symmetric in first cases, but right now Dhruvi is making that key is a public. So key is also traveling inside the channel. So maybe there is a possibility of someone can intermediary malicious user can intersect the key. So there is a possibility during the public key. So in case number 2, we are getting confidentiality only, we are not getting authentication in case number 2 due to the public key. So what we will do for getting the authentication? So for getting the authentication, we will use signature with the public key. In case number 2, whenever we are making the encryption, so we will also use the signature. In terms of signature, we will discuss entire unit of signature in our next session, but right now keep in your mind we are using the signature with the encryption. So in that case we are using authentication and signature, but till by using this modification we are not getting the authentication. So for getting the authentication, what we will do, so in that case we will use the private key with the public key. So Dhruvi will generate two keys, one key of A, that is public key, and L of A is a public key, and another one D of A is a private key. So by using this both thing, private key and public key, in next case we will get confidentiality, authentication and signature. So our most of the problem is right now going to be solved out. Receiver is Bhavik is able to get the confidentiality as well as authentication and signature. So that is about the second property, message encryption. So guys, if you have any questions or any query in your mind, you can write me on comment box. That is the beauty of Leh Ladakh, that is the snowfall. Hope you are able to watch the snowfall is going to be occur at Leh Ladakh. That is the highway you are looking for the transportation. Get it? Next one is a hash function. So that is the last property of message authentication code. So what is happening into the hash function? So again there is a two party, Dhruvi is a sender and Bhavik is a receiver. So what Dhruvi will do, whatever the actual message Dhruvi want to send, Dhruvi will apply the hash function on some of the bits of message. Right now what we are doing in these techniques, we are not applying hash function on entire message because entire message is too long. So what we are doing, we are applying hash function on some of the bits of message. Get it? So suppose like here we are getting 4 bit, again we are extracting some 8 bit, again we are extracting 16 or 32 bit, and by extracting some of the bits we are applying hash function on that particular portion, and then after whatever the output we are getting, that is the hash function output. We will indicate it with the f of m is equal to m star. So first Dhruvi is applying a hash function on a few bits of the message, and then after Dhruvi is doing the encryption with the encryption key. So that is if we will look about the message which is traveling into the channel. So what is, there is a actual message plus one portion of encrypted message after the hash function. So first Dhruvi applied the hash function on some of the bits, and then Dhruvi encrypted the message. So here again there is a 2 portion original message plus hash function encrypted message. So whenever Bhavik will receive the message, so Bhavik will receive the actual message. So Bhavik have a hash function shared by the Dhruvi. So Bhavik will apply the hash function on some of the bits, and Bhavik will be able to extract original message, and then after Bhavik will compare with the encrypted hash function message. Suppose Bhavik is getting same result for both the cases, so it means Bhavik is able to know that authenticity of the message, like this message was sent by the Dhruvi and there is no modification from the intermediary nodes or any hackers or any malicious users. So that is all about the hash functions. Hope you are understanding very well. If you have any doubts or any queries, so anytime you can ask to me Another thing, suggestions from my side, wherever you are learning the information and network security, so first look at the fundamentals of computer network, like basic topologies, categories of networks, communication modes, switching techniques, network devices like switch, hub, bridge, router, where they are going to be used, some basics of OSI model, like some protocols like transmission control protocol, user defined protocol. So whatever the number of protocols are going to be used for the separate functions. So if you will learn this basic fundamentals of computer network, so you will be you will feel the more flexible, or you will feel better during the internet and network security, get it, or information and network security. So thank you very much. We will discuss unit number 7 in our next session. On that case, we will start from the digital signature and its properties, requirement of digital signature and security, digital signature schemes, and NIST algorithm. So we will discuss digital signature in our next session. Thanks for watching.